Now you might say, well, one study with so many experimental conditions and with 220 participants is not really absolutely convincing. So are there any replications, and does the technique also work in a context that is not pro-social? And we can answer these questions with yes and yes. Because first of all, there are replications, and the disrupt-then-reframe technique was also tested in a sales context. For example, in the study by Fennis and colleagues published in 2004 in the Journal of Consumer Psychology. And the study has a nice title, which is "If You Can't Dazzle Them with Brilliance, Baffle Them with Nonsense. Extending the impact of the disrupt-then-reframe technique of social influence." In their first experiment, a confederate of the experimenter tried to persuade people to participate in a lottery. So after a short introduction, which was for both experimental conditions, the confederate said in the control condition, "Now is your chance to try your luck for €3.50 a week. It's a bargain." In the disrupt-then-reframe condition, the confederate said, "Now is your chance to try your luck for 350 euro cents a week." So again, they tried to disrupt by naming the price in an unconventional way, and then they added the reframe by saying, "That's 3.50 euros, it's a bargain." And also in this context, the disrupt-then-reframe technique was found to be effective, whereas in the control condition only 25% were willing to participate in the lottery. In the disrupt-then-reframe condition, 43% decided to participate. Now you might say, well, this all might work with small amounts of money, because 3.50 euros, 350 cents, are really a bargain. So this probably does not work with larger amounts of money. Well, let's take a look at their second experiment, in which a confederate tried to convince 120 students to sign a petition to increase tuition fees by 75 euros. Well, if you are a student or if you know any students, you might guess that this is quite difficult to accomplish. Students usually don't have that much money, and if you tell them, well, we want to increase tuition fees by 75 euros, they are probably not enthusiastic. And therefore, it's no wonder that in the control condition, even though they were told the benefits, they were told, well, we want to improve the scientific research and education, and therefore we need higher tuition fees. In the control condition, only 20% of the students signed the petition. But when they used the disrupt-then-reframe technique by telling the students, well, college tuition fees need to be raised by 7,500 euro cents. That's 75 euros. It's a really small investment. When they used this, the compliance rates almost doubled up to 37%. And the same compliance rate was also reached in another condition in which they used the foot in the door technique. So before telling the students what they really want from them, they first let them answer to some survey statements. For example, and now I quote from the study, "To improve the quality of academic education, more financial means need to be rendered available." And then the students should say if they agreed or not. And of course, many students agreed. And after the students had participated in this alleged survey, they were then asked whether they would agree to sign the petition. And guess what? After the students had said, well, of course, we need money to improve the education, the compliance rate to sign the petition went up from 20% in the control condition to 37% in this foot in the door condition. If you think, well, 37% is not bad, well, take a look at the last experimental condition they had, in which they combined the foot in the door technique with the disrupt-then-reframe technique. So the students should first say if they agreed to these statements, and in the next step they were told, well, we stand up for a increase of the tuition fees by 7,500 euro cents. That's 75 euros. It's a really small investment. When they used this combined technique, the compliance rate was skyrocketing to incredible 90%. 90% of the students really signed a petition which said that they would really like to pay more money.